You know what? I'm getting kind of sick of all this rocky stuff. Time for something a little easier to listen to. Gentle on the ears. A lot, maybe calmer. Now! Music is powerful stuff, especially for those who play it, and saying it can have a mesmerizing effect on two individuals is definitely true. And I can't think of a better example of this than the Civil Wars. So after that nice little introduction, allow me to present their self-titled sophomore effort, released August 6th of 2013. The once conjoined effort of Joy Williams and John Paul White, the Civil War sound revolved around elements of indie, folk, and country, often pulling rhythmic acoustic strumming, soft piano playing, and incredible harmonizing out of their bag of tricks. And on special occasions, fast-paced, foot-stomping southern jams with some serious soul. After their breakup in November of 2012 due to internal discord, yeah, it's kind of ironic, we weren't really expecting an album, but then out of nowhere we got this. And the question is, how does this post-breakup release compare to Barton Hollow, which was actually fantastic? Let's find out, shall we? The album starts off with The One That Got Away, a dark tune that deals with regrets of a relationship taken too far. I really like the clever spin on the well-known phrase, the one that got away. Instead of regretting that they were the one that got away, it's wishing that they actually were the one that got away. Interesting. The sinister guitars coupled with Joy Williams' emotional vocal performance definitely gets the album off to a strong start. Track 2, Had Me a Girl. Much like the title track from Barton Hollow, what we have here is a foot-stomping, folk-driven tune that has some jaw-dropping duet action and some really heavy acoustic strumming.
Oh, that woman told me to pray, but for all of her wandering ways, she could
It should also be stated how much I love the fact that the aren't simply thrown in for kicks. They directly tie into the meaning of the song. How so? Well, have you ever heard this before? Oh man, that girl was yeah, woo! Thankfully the Civil Wars aren't actually creepy when they do that. Moving right along, we come to Same Old, track 3. Following a similar direction to The One That Got Away, and while it's true it's not as dark and definitely a slower song, it still follows that really moody, dark kind of style. Relationships are the worst! Man, good heavens, this CD is brutal. Track 4, Dust to Dust. Oh shoot, I can already guess where this one's going. Much like the previously released Poison and Wine, we come to a gentle song that includes soft piano and gentle guitar plucking and easy vocals. I'm running out of adverbs.
They don't fool me. You've been lonely too long.
I love the simplicity of Dust to Dust. And is it just me, or does it kind of sound like maybe they were tearing up when they were singing this song? I'm not saying like straight up bawling their eyes out, but you know, maybe just the occasional, you know, tear trickling down the cheek. I don't know, it just sounds like it's really rich with emotion, and that's kind of hard to fake. Eavesdrop continues the cycle of forsaken love songs, but then track 6 kind of throws something a little different into the mix and gives us a song entirely from the female's perspective about falling in love with a, quote, man on the run. Girl, you better watch out, I'll mess you up. Oh, I'll make your daddy wish you never met me. Which is not really shocking, but who cares? Number 7, From This Valley. And I would actually go as far to say this is probably the most unique sounding song off the album.
Oh, won't you take me from this valley to that mountain high above? Oh, I will pray, pray, till I see your smiling face. I will pray, until I
It doesn't really sound like anything they've done in the past, and that's because it's kind of peppy and optimistic, which sounds kind of bad, but a lot of the Civil War stuff is generally more moody and dark, really. Is that bad? No, I wouldn't say it's bad at all. It's just something to take note of. Also, this track almost feels like a country song, which is awesome. I love country, so yeah! Jumping ahead to track 10, we come to a Smashing Pumpkins cover, Disarm. It should be stated that one of the best things about when the Civil Wars decide to cover a song is they make it remarkably their own. It doesn't sound like a cover, it sounds like the Civil Wars. I will say though, the church bells were definitely missed on this track. Next is Sacred Heart, a simple acoustic driven song that is entirely in French. And y'all, in case you didn't know, Joy Williams can speak French, and she can also sing it. Beautifully, I might add.
Je vais t'attendre là, viendras-tu voir moi?
Well, folks, the proof is in the pudding. And that pudding is, of course, whatever style the French really enjoy to eat, which is, I don't know. Leave a comment below if you know who the heck wrote this stuff. The last track off the album is Darlene, and it definitely is a shout out to the Civil War's past roots, because when they were first starting out, they did a lot of rough recordings, just the two of them and a mic and a camera filming them. And this is definitely, don't get me wrong, a very, very rough recording.
There's so much I've got to tell.
That sound is obnoxious. Basically, this is a very rough recording, and it's a callback to their roots. Is that bad? No, but still, that sound, that is not a sound I like, I can assure you. It's just a tad distracting. All right, sweet. Well, that was everything. Now for a brief review. One thing's for sure, if you didn't think their last album was a tad on the dark side from a lyrical standpoint, this one definitely takes another step towards the metaphorical ledge of depressing relationship woes. A lot of tunes about how it won't work, it shouldn't work, or it never should have happened in the first place. I'm not saying every song on this album is revolving around a relationship that has a "It's Complicated" label stamped on it, but is this negative? I wouldn't say so. I actually think it's earnest and enjoyable, but I could see how some people might not think it's awesome. Musically, things are a tad broader on this CD than they are on Barton Hollow, with a couple tracks actually including some percussion. And I mean actual percussion, not just... and a few other interesting instrument decisions, but the difference is not by much. It's still very much revolving around acoustic and piano related stuff. Not bad, but it's good to take note of. This isn't gonna be like a dramatically different sounding CD. Probably the biggest beef I would say I have with this CD is the fact that it doesn't flow as well as their first one. And I'm not saying it's like awkward and jumbled all over the place, but it doesn't really, sometimes it just seems a tad random with the selection and order of the tracks. But please don't freak out when I say this, because it's not a bad album. In fact, I really like it. But what kind of critic would I be if all I ever said was, "Oh my gosh, this CD wins at life!" Hashtag musical bliss on a disc. Now, I thought about diving into my theory on why the Civil Wars broke up and how I believe this album does a lot to paint kind of a picture of what went down. But this is an album review, not a gossip chain, so... I really enjoy a majority of the songs on this album, but I'm gonna have to say my favorite is Dust to Dust. The subtle vocals that are almost whispered with the tinge of strong emotion on both the singers' voices and the acoustic plucking, I just really like the way things come together here. And also the fact that me and a friend covered it not too long ago is always a plus. My least favorite song is 12, Darlene. It's not a terrible song, but... sweetness! Now time for an overall score. I give the Civil War self-titled sophomore effort a 7 out of 10. Farewell, Civil Wars. Y'all will definitely be missed. And yes, these are definitely their signatures. Although I gotta say, it almost looks like Joy Williams was just circling the wine glass on my CD. Which, I mean, sure.
Oh, you're acting, you're thin disguise. All your perfectly delivered lines, they don't fool me, 'cause you've been lonely too